Yo, what's good, y'all? Swell Squad Chris, and I'm gonna give you guys an update on the $13,000 house. So if you've been following me on social media for a little bit, you know I always bring up this $13,000 house. So back in 2019, I was just on this journey to buy, a house every single month. So the second half of 2019, so I bought my first one in August 2019, and I just went August, September, October, November, December, January, and then we turned, 2021 January, and the pandemic started getting close, so I kind of stopped. But in doing so, I came up on a $13,000 house, and I posted on Twitter, I posted on Instagram, and people just had so many questions. I did the same questions over and over about this house. I kind of just wanted to, just some of the questions, give you guys an update, because surprisingly, it's been working pretty well for me. I haven't had any major issues. Like, I know it's crazy to hear of a $13,000 house, and usually when you hear about something that's like 13 grand for a house, you're thinking, okay, you buy it for 13, then you gotta go put 50, 60, 80, 100,000 into it to make it livable. No, I bought this house for $13,000, and I didn't even put money into it. There was a tenant already in place. Matter of fact, she's still there. Long-term tenant in place. She was paying $600 a month by the time I got there. So when I bought the house, I called her, and I just, was just talking to her a little bit. And then I was asking if there was anything wrong with the house that maybe didn't get caught on the inspection. So whenever you buy a crib, you gotta pay to get an inspection. And then what I do is I'll have the inspector do a walkthrough on video, because keep in mind, when I'm buying some of these properties, I'm not there, right? So of course the bigger houses I'm there, but for small houses I'm not there. So I'll have them do a walkthrough, and they'll do a written report, but then they'll also report it on video so I can go back and watch it. Or I kind of have like a reference to know, like, yo, this wasn't there, or this issue didn't pop up, or maybe we missed over this or whatever. But I'll tell you this, in real estate, your tenant is going to know the house better than you do, or than the inspector does. The inspector might look at something and be like, oh, okay, cool. He might do a function check on something and be like, okay, this works. But the tenant, you know how it is, because if you live somewhere for a long time, you can, if you turn this light and then slap the TV twice, then the back door will lock. You know how it goes, right? So I called a tenant, asked her, like, hey, what's up with the house? Have you had any issues? Especially, what I didn't want is for me to walk into this property and she had issues with the previous owner. So now she kind of has this like bad taste in her mouth for, the landlord. There's that feeling like landlord. So I just want to introduce myself, see what's up with the house, see what's up with her, any issues she had going on. She told me of a few things. I got them taken care of, and she told me she had been telling the previous owner about these issues for a while, and he just never did nothing. Lazy owner type guy. So I got the issues taken care of, and then I dropped her rent down from $600 to $500. Now this is kind of uncommon in the real estate world. You're looking to make money, not to give up money, right? But I dropped her rent down for her from $600 a month to $500 a month, as long as she was, she stayed current, stayed up to date on her rent, and if she had any issues, she would let me know. Therefore, I'm not blindsided by, I can't make rent this month, or whatever the case can. And looking back, I'm glad that I made that decision, because COVID came and she was communicating about, how COVID affected her. Some of my other tenants just kind of went quiet and didn't say anything and kind of left me blindsided, or whatever the case was. So I'm glad that, we opened up that line of communication. In general, I don't want, tenants to be calling me all the time, or to be calling me at all, really, because I'm a property manager. So I introduced myself, then I let her know who the property manager would be. He would then eventually go over there, introduce himself to her family, so then she would know, if I have any issues, I'm calling this guy. If something can't get resolved, or I absolutely need to call Chris, I will. A settlement statement real quick so you guys can get a little info. So I just blanked out information that's not that important. All right, and nosy folks don't need to be nosy with. So we'll start over here. I purchased it November 19th. All right, this is in St. Louis, like I said. Property address, buyer, Johnson, blah, 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 LLC. So I'm showing you guys this so you know this isn't something I bought in my personal name. When you invest, especially if you're going to invest out of state, use a LLC. And how I do it, some people do LLCs for every single rental property they buy. I do it LLC per state that I invest in. All right, cool. So boom, sale price of the property, 13,000, prorated adjustments. So city taxes, you can see what I pay in taxes per year, what type of taxes you can look to pay on a property like this, the sewer line, all these things that have been paid. Boom, they're basically going to get their money back for paying them. All right, cool. So just wanted to show you guys this real quick. Here's a few questions that people always ask every time that, I talk about this. One, how did I find the property? I found the realtor online, and I had kind of been watching her for a while or whatever. And I bought 2 or 3 properties from her, and the process went smooth. So then she brought the deal to me. So that's one thing that I'll tell you guys, to build rapport with people, right? So if you meet with somebody and you guys, conduct business and it goes well, then maintain the relationship or the friendship or whatnot. So you guys, next time you're ready to do business, you can go back. Or when they got an off-market deal, they'll call you first. They know that you don't bullshit. They know that you don't play. So here's the tip, when you're dealing with real estate agents or wholesalers or whatever the case is, if you're not in the market, don't pretend like you're in the market. You know what I'm saying? So don't call people and be like, oh yeah, I was thinking about buying a house, but I don't know, but I want to go look. And then, these people are wasting their time, their energy, and their effort showing you around, sending you listings, all that good stuff. And then you're not really even in the market. You know what I'm saying? So when you're serious, be serious. Maintain a relationship, because when she has a investor that goes, hey, I want to sell off my portfolio. I have this deal, I have this deal, I have this deal. All right, she's going to know, this person doesn't play around. This person, takes care of business. I'm going to call them first. Boom, 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 right? So, one, the realtor brought me the deal. So that's how I found it. Why did I trust to buy a house that was so low cost, right? So when you hear $13,000 for a house, you might think that, it's a shack. Why did I trust that it wasn't a piece of crap, basically? The main thing that I could say that will kind of alleviate these trusts is you get an inspection. If I give somebody $500 to go run an inspection and they're going to tell me, this roof needs to be replaced, the cost of a roof is $4,000. So I'm going to go, well, it's $13,000, but I'm going to have to replace the roof, or the floors are, done in, or whatever the case is, the foundation is shaking. The garage has sunk down to the foundation level, whatever the case is. You're going to spend $500 with the inspector, and he's going to give you the write-up, he's going to give you the report, and you're going to know whether this house is a piece of crap or not. Because you're not a real estate professional, because you don't know that much about houses outside of living in them, you have to rely on other people. So you pay these people for their opinions and their expertise. So a couple of $500, cool. How do you know that the tenant was placed already, or how do you know that the tenant was paying rent? So you can get a rent roll from the previous owner, from the current owner. If you're looking to buy, they'll let you know. They should be keeping track if the tenant's paying rent on time or if they're behind on rent and all that good stuff. When you search online, and I'll show you guys a search online. When you search online, if you're going to use popular search engines, you can search tenant occupied, or you can search keywords like tenant or occupied or whatever the case is. So if you're looking on these search engines and not relying on a realtor to send you something, you'll know, I'm looking for something that already has a tenant place. You get what I'm saying? Sometimes in the description, it will say, tenant occupied, do not disturb, or do not disturb tenants. So you're looking for keywords that you can search, and we'll walk through that. Another thing too is you get comps from the realtor, right? So if you're buying something for, let's say it wasn't 13,000, let's say it's 130,000, but everything else in the neighborhood that's been selling has been selling for 80,000, right? You're getting all these comps. They're going to give you comparable houses that'll let you know, like, yo, if I'm buying a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and it's 2,000 square feet, all the other 2,000 square feet, 3-bedroom, 2-bath have been selling for 80, 90,000. There's nothing special about your house that should let you know something, right? Like, yo, why are they charging me 130 if everything in this area that's similar to mine is only selling for 80? Red flag, right? Get on Google Maps. Get on the Google Street View, and I'll show you how to do that too. Get on Google Street View. Look around, right? Know how close you are to this, how close you are to that. You can also use websites like Rento Meter, and that'll tell you what the current rent is in that area code or in that area. So just use that zip code, plug the zip code in. It'll tell you, all right, you got a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and you're charging $700 a month. Is that high or low for that zip code? You're charging $2,400 a month. Is it high or low for that zip code? All right, what made me choose St. Louis? And the answer to that is, I think when I invest in real estate, it's similar to how I approach the stock market. Sometimes you do things for appreciation, sometimes you do things for income, and sometimes you can catch a combination of both. So in St. Louis, what I noticed was you can get a good bang for your buck. And when I mean bang for your buck, I mean the cost of the property versus what you can collect in rent. So I'm not going to San Francisco and getting a $700,000 house because I think it's going to appreciate to $800,000 or $900,000 in 2 years. That would be me investing for appreciation. Me investing for income is me saying, yo, I can get a $30,000 house and collect $800-900 for it, right? Where it may not appreciate like crazy. I don't expect that this $30,000 house will ever be worth $200,000, but I do think that I can get $700, $800, $900, $1,000 eventually. Maybe the house appreciates to $600K at tops before you walk away from the deal, whatever the case is. So I was looking to invest for income and not necessarily appreciation. But when you approach the investing world that way and you focus on buying like a good buy, you know, what ends up happening is you're going to get both. So I got both. So this house is probably worth between 60 and 90K now, 3 years later, and I've received $11,300 in income so far. Any search thing, let's say you want to do this without working with a realtor or a wholesaler or whatever. You just want to search like one of these search engines yourself. All right, you would come here, you would just search like St. Louis, right? For sale. Then what I'll be looking for is like 2-bedroom, 1-bath minimum, home type, houses. Boom, boom, boom. Take all this away. Boom, boom, boom. All right. So remember when I was talking to you guys about keywords earlier? Let's say price. Say you're looking for something under 100 grand. All right. Because that's relevant to this video. Now, when it comes to these keywords, there's 3 keywords that I want you guys. So you could come here to like more keywords. So there's 3 keywords or 3 phrases that I want you guys to know. Turnkey. Boom. Look what happens when I search turnkey. All right, only one pops up. Actually, let's just remove this border and let's just do everything in this area. All right, so you'll find something like this. All right. Looks decent. Inspector's gonna have to look at the foundation. That looks a little iffy. All right. When you're inside the house, when you look at these pictures from the inside of your house, you want to look for water stains on the ceilings. That'll show you that there was some leaking. All right. Sometimes there isn't much you can see from, these photos, but just at a quick glance, maybe look from the outside, see if there's any foundational type of issues from the photos, sometimes people will hide these too. That's why will hide like the flaws in the photos. That's why you have to get an inspection done. All right. Boom. Like here, look for the water stains up there. Cool. A decent house, $60,000 house. Look decent to me. Cool. This looks like this could be the basement. Yeah, sure, that's the basement. All right, so for all you people who like to hang out in the basement, your mom's basement, play video games or whatever you do, boom, there you go. Set up shop. Got some backyard to it. Roof looks a little iffy, but all right, cool. So the reason why this popped up and caught our eye is because it had the word turnkey in it. Looking for a turnkey investment property. All right, add investment to the list. So you have tenant, you have another keyword is occupied. Another keyword is turnkey. Another keyword is investment. Cool. All right, so just read through the description. It's been on Zillow for 4 days. All right, looking for a turnkey investment property with a solid long-term tenant, then look no further. This is a two-bed ranch home with a finished basement, a detached garage, and fenced yard. Is located on a quiet cul-de-sac. Property has hardwood floors, updated bath with ceramic tiles, updated electric, new system, ceiling plans, blah, 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 blah. Long-term tenant pays for everything, including sewer, and plans on staying many years to come. Perfect for investors who just want to sit back and collect passive income. Professionally managed. Property manager will continue on if needed. Property to be sold as is. All right, cool. What as is means is when you get this inspection done, you're going to pay somebody to inspect. When they come back and they say, yo, the foundation is messed up, but you can get your foundation right that'll probably cost you about $3,000. What they mean when they say as is that you're not going to tell them, hey, I know you guys are looking for 59.9, but I could do 56.9 because it's going to take about 3,000 to get the foundation right, yada, or maybe it's the roof. Or you guys could fix it yourself and then sell it to me full price. And what they're going to say is the home is as is. This is letting you know that this seller is not willing to make any changes, upgrades, fixes. You take it as is. That makes the inspection that much more valuable. I think this is a decent home. Now, what you could do too, boom, take this address, copy it, Control C, go to rental meter, right? Put the address in. Let's say rent, start off at $1,000. So this is assuming that you own the house or you're going to own the house and you're going to charge $1,000. It's a 2-bedroom, 1 bath, right? And then you want houses that are similar to yours in style, in size. So this house is 1,944 square feet. So you're going to go 1,700 to 2,100. And you're going to want to know, is $1,000 high or low or whatever compared to everything else in that zip code in that area, similar to the size. Boom. Now you're going to see, okay, well, the average in this area is 1,400 in rent. All right. Okay, so then in your mind, just doing quick calculations without digging too far deep, you're just doing quick calculations. So you're like, all right, well, cool. I'm going to play conservative. I'm going to say I'm going to charge $1,250 per rent per month times 12, and then assume that you're going to give up 25% of this every single month. So, every single year. So 15,000, right? And you're giving up a quarter. So you're giving up $3,750 every year. All right, why is it 25%? Because you're going to have maintenance, you're going to have property taxes, you're going to have insurance. All right, you're going to have issues that pop up. All right, and then imagine this: if you throw a mortgage in there, let's say you're not cashing out on this. If you throw a mortgage in there, boom, you got your mortgage. You need to calculate that up against that 15,000. Make sure it cash flows. I'll do another video about that a different day. But just two little things I want to tell you about. So one, boom, you can look on Zillow. Then, all right, you find this house. What do you need to do next? Call them or have somebody call you. All right, and then when you're speaking to the realtor and you get, connected in with a realtor that's out in this area, then you can ask them, okay, well, I'm interested in buying it, yada, yada, yada. Do you guys have any recommendations for a property manager? Once you get to the serious side of things, right, you have a recommendation for a property manager, then you need to interview different property managers. We'll make a video about that another time too. Just two little websites, two little search hacks I want to show you about. All right, check this out. Let's look at the numbers, right? I got this house for $13,000, but how much am I collecting in rent? Let's look. So, 2020, well, I'll show you some of the Schedule E. Well, in 2020, boom, here's the number right here. All right, so net income, $4,165. 2021, net income $3,835, and then so far this year, just got a payment from January to August. All right, I just got a payment of $3,385, so we still got 3 months to go, but $3,385. Now I'm going to tell you something. What I'm doing with this money, is, so that's like $11,300 in total. All right, what I'm doing with this money is buying stocks that pay me dividends. So, for instance, this last payment that I just got of $3,385, I spent that on 228 shares of MPW. MPW is a REIT that owns real estate that leases out spaces to hospitals and other medical offices, right? So when you go to the hospital doesn't own that building. There's some type of company or corporation that owns the building, and they just leased out to the hospital. The hospital is going to sign long-term leases, right? So I bought 228 shares of MPW, right? Now, watch how this works. For every one share of MPW that I own, I'm going to get $1.16 per year in dividends. So I bought 228 shares. All right. But did I buy them or did my tenants buy them? Those 228 shares will pay me $264. I'll reinvest those dividends to buy more shares. So that'll give me 17 more shares. And a year goes by, almost 17 shares, and I get $20, which will buy me one more share. So it's just a basket that's producing a basket, that's producing a basket, that's producing a basket, right? It was all set off with money from 2019. So I want you to think about, what did you spend your 2019 money on? Not the money for survival, not the, you need clothing, shelter, all that stuff, but the money that you just blew, right? If you aren't spending money from 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 5 years ago, then you're doing something wrong, right? I'm getting you to understand and to see how investors structure their money and how they move around. Think about it. Take this money in 2019, I buy a house, the house pays me rent, the rent buys me shares that pay dividends, the dividends buy me more shares that pay dividends, those dividends buy more shares that pay dividends, and this was all funded by who? The tenant. You ever heard of saying all your bills are somebody else's passive income? So the tenant gets up, goes to work, pays the rent, the owner takes the money, buys other investments, buys other investments, buys other investments. So all the people that got to get up and go to work to make this hospital run and function, they're doing all that so they could pay their rent. And that REIT will take that rent money and dish some of it to people like me. So the tenant who lives in this, house has to get up, go to work, pay their rent. I'm going to take that money, invest it. People work at the hospital, get up, go to work so they can pay their rent. The hospital pays the rent, dishes out the rent to investors like me. So that's what I'm trying to do. Every active dollar that I get, I look at a dollar like a soldier, right? I don't want the soldiers sitting around my house. I want the soldiers to go out and recruit and bring me back more soldiers. If every $100 bills was like a little platoon, go out and capture some enemies and bring them back over here so they could work for me too. So then the next time I send y'all out, I'm not sending 100 of y'all out, I'm sending 150 of y'all out. Y'all bring back 75 more people. Now the next 220, go get 50 more people. Now the next 270, go get 100 more people. Just go out and bring me more troops that work for the empire. Now that you know that this $13,000 house is actually profitable, it's appreciating and it's putting money in my pockets. So I guess you want to know what my future plans are with it, right? So I'll tell you this. In 1974, my grandpa bought a house in Pasadena, California for $17,500. And now that house is worth $930K. $17,930K or something ridiculous like that. And at first I was thinking about selling this house. About last year I was thinking about selling this house. And I'm thinking, no, the cycle happens over and over all throughout our country. This is what happens. This is the cycle. If you didn't know. The inner cities of the big cities get ran down, right? All the crime, the poverty, everything, it pushes people out, right? All the people who are, well-to-do, they want to move away. They want better schools. They want safer neighborhoods, so they move away. The inner cities get ran down, they get ran down. Eventually, investors step in. They go, let's think of like South Central Los Angeles or something, right? Investors go, wait, we get to be 30 minutes from the beach, 30 minutes from the airport, 15 minutes from the airport. We get to be, a few minutes from downtown. We get the Lakers, we got Staples Center, we have all these things, and we get to buy these houses for $80,000, right? Think about 1990, the house in South Central, $80,000, now we sell for $1 million. So what happens is people move away from these areas. The value of the property goes down, right? When it hits the floor, investors step in. They say, man, if I can get all this land for my warehouse, or if I can get all this land for my new school or this campus or whatever the case is, which will attract the better jobs, which will eventually bring the value up, and then the value of the real estate goes back up. So I think I caught the bottom of St. Louis, to be honest. So we'll see. But I think that it's worth me holding on long term, maybe passing off to my children, because me selling for $60,000, $70,000 profit, $100,000 profit, $200,000 profit, that type of money wouldn't change my life. You get what I'm saying? But I think holding for the long term, holding for 30, 40 years and seeing what this could become, plus I've kind of been tipped off that Google is building a campus over there, and I'm gonna hold on to my property for a while, right? See if I can beat what my grandpa did. But look, what we're doing, basically the idea of all of this is you're taking money and you're exchanging it for more money in the future, right? So this is what $3,300 looks like in 30 years if you let it play out. This is called compound interest, right? So this is what people mean when they say let your money compound, right? So if you have $100 and you have a 10% return, right? You have $110. Now, if you have another 10% return, you don't get another $10. You actually get $11 because you get 10% of the 110, not 10% of the original 100. So now you have $121, year 3. If you get a 10% return, $12.10. Add that to the 121. So every time you get that 10% return, it's going to be higher than the last return because it's compounding, right? So same thing works with dividends, right? If you buy a stock that pays dividends and you reinvest those dividends, then each time you get paid out dividends, you're going to get paid more than the last time because you own more shares. Your stock is buying you dividends, which is buying you more shares, which is paying you more dividends. It's buying you more shares, it's paying you more dividends. This is boring and it's boring stuff, but that's what the time effect of money does. It allows your money to compound longer and longer. And that's why you young folks out there, 20, 21, 22, 18, 19-year-olds, need to be paying attention because the time concept, the time value in money is stronger than almost everything else you can think of, right? So the earlier you get started on this, the better. So anyways, assuming we take that $3,300, keep putting it into a stock like MPW and let it rock out for 30 years, this is what it looks like. 30 years later, this is what it looks like. Or imagine if I'm pocketing $345 every month, because that's basically what it averages out to, right? Let's say over the course of the year, I'm able to buy 4 Ethereum. So I averaged $1,000 a piece. And imagine at the end of the decade, so in 8 years, Ethereum is worth $40,000 a piece, worth $40,000 a piece at the end of the decade. Then my tenant making her little $500 payments just gave me $160,000 worth of Ethereum. Or if Ethereum is 20K, then it'd be 20 times 4, right? $80,000. So I want you to think about that, right? It's you take the money, you spend your time to make money. You exchange your labor for the money. Then the next step in this wealth game is getting your money to make more money. So then you stop putting in the labor part, right? You exchange your time for money and you exchange your money for more money. If you can understand that, you'll be good. That's where the whole concept get money by income comes from. All right? All my trades, all my investments, everything that I'm buying and selling and what I'm looking into and what sectors I'm looking at and what I think of the market, all that stuff is posted in the Wealth Squad. The link is in the description. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it brought you some type of value. If it did, give me a like, give me a comment, subscribe to my channel, send this video to one of your friends or something. That'll be easy.